What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. It is May 5th, 2025. I'm just chilling here before work. Dude, it was fucking cold in Kentucky this morning. I actually had to turn on, we have a little space heater, and I turned it on this morning. It was freezing till about, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know. I mean, you guys can see the weather. I don't mind it though, but yeah, I got long sleeves on. Give me just a second. My buddy's driving by. Hopefully he keeps going because I don't feel like talking to him today. Nice. He keeps going. I love him to death, but man, he bugs me and shit. So we got a lot to talk about. Quite a few different subjects. We're just gonna kind of go through each subject and talk about it. A while back, I did a podcast talking about AI making podcasts now. So go check that episode out. I think the episode's called AI are now making podcasts. I think that's literally the title of the episode. But and we kind of get into, like, there's a fake Joe Rogan podcast that's got millions of views. And what it is people are literally farming money. The Joe Rogan one, at least they were kind of admitting, like, hey, this is a fake AI podcast with Joe Rogan. And it gets down to what it is there's so many hours of Joe Rogan out there that it has so much information that it can use on, like, subtleties of tone and sarcasm and all that jazz. So a lot of people, where Joe Rogan is the number one podcast, a lot of people are going, oh, I would love to hear him interview such and such or such and such. So it's like a hypothetical podcast. It's insane of, like, what would it be like for Joe Rogan to interview so and so, you know? It's not just podcasting though. Apparently, it has moved into the true crime category. I did not write down which true crime YouTuber it was, but people started catching on a little bit. And what happened was there was a true crime channel, and they were doing AI. And true crime, it's literally in the title of the genre. It's literally supposed to be crime that is true. And what happened was there was this crazy story that supposedly had happened in this, like, town or city or whatever, and a reporter for the local newspaper of that town was like, wait a second, when did they say this happened? Like, oh, this month? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a reporter for the local newspaper. Like, I would have heard about this. It would have come across my desk. So she starts digging into it and realizes this is a completely made up story with completely made up people, AI generated people, and AI generated names. The whole story's AI generated. And she called out this channel, and the channel basically like voluntarily shut down. But it's amazing to me, like, and the thing is, this dude had like tons of subscribers, like thousands of subscribers, and was making bank off of this. And it's disingenuous, and it fucking sucks. Like, as someone who is a content creator who's been at the game for 10 years, still can't get monetized. You know, and it isn't woe is me, but it's like, dude, when you're actually putting energy into, like, long form talking and looking up, researching, and, like, trying to make a career out of it, it's disheartening to see, like, someone who literally is just typing a couple things on an AI. It's creating fake stories, fake victims, fake characters. Yeah, it's discouraging. But we're going to talk probably a little more about robotics and Skynet and shit. But yeah, I watched this whole video on it, on all these different content creators on YouTube. So it's not just podcasting now. I know we kind of focused on that episode I mentioned earlier, that it was like infiltrating and ruining the podcasting community and genre, but it's not even just podcasters who are dealing with these fake podcasts. It's literally true crime videos, like actual videos, YouTuber videos. YouTubers are, and it's like 3 or 4 different content creators during this documentary I was watching where they're getting called out like, yeah, this is fucking AI, dude. There was a South Park channel that was creating like AI videos, and it's just discouraging. It's sad as a content creator, like, and the thing is AI is taking over every form of fucking business, like delivery trucks, fast food restaurants, like everything is getting taken over by AI. It's insane. It's disheartening, really. But yeah, let's get on with the next subject. So this one's a little bit of an older story, and I would suggest you look it up, the video. Stephen Colbert is a fucking creep, man. I hear people saying like, oh, he used to be awesome, like back in the day. I don't know. I never really watched him back in the day. I just know he's a fucking idiot now. Like, and the thing is, like, I'm a classic liberal. Now, which would be considered like moderate, if not libertarian or conservative, really, as weird as it sounds. So he could have been on point back in the day. But with the left, you have like these diehard liberals who think that the left is still on the right side of history. Because, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about it before. The left was on the right side of history at one point in time. Because I grew up, you know, and I became a conspiracy theorist after 9/11 and shit. After learning about 9/11, like the actual truth about it. And like, as an old school conspiracy theorist, that's why I don't really play into the left-right paradigm. That's probably one of the reasons my channel is not really big, and Sam Tripoli talks about it a lot. Like, if you play really hard left or play really hard right, your channel will explode, you know? And I've noticed a huge trend of like Christian conservatism within the conspiracy community, and to me it's like, dude, you guys know the Republicans and the right was like behind 9/11 and weapons of mass destruction and Fox News. And I don't know, as an older conspiracy theorist, an old school conspiracy theorist, I watch these new people who are just now waking up thinking that the right is like, oh, those are the good guys. It's like, no, they were the bad guys, you know, during and after 9/11. The left was actually the good guys. And it's just, it's a trend that I've noticed. The pendulum. It's the pendulum effect. And the thing is, when you're like me, who's like a classic liberal, what would now be, like I said, considered moderate, it's like almost like a bad thing. A lot of the left and right channels, they'll say, oh, he's a flip-flopper or a fence sitter. And it's like, I don't see anything wrong with saying I don't know enough about an issue, or not having like a set in stone opinion on it, you know? So I don't know. Stephen Colbert, for one, there's a really weird video and it's him. Allegedly, it's allegedly him. If you know the video I'm talking about, do you guys remember that song? I don't even need your love. You treat me like a stranger, and that feels so rough. So there's a kid in this video, and it's supposedly Stephen Colbert, like singing in this kid's face, and he has like face paint on, like no shirt on. The kid's got face paint, and like the whole thing is really fucking creepy and weird. I don't know where this was recorded at. Allegedly it was like Comet Ping Pong. If you guys know the footage I'm talking about, it's fucking weird. You'd have to go on like BitChute to find it. And it does look like Stephen Colbert. And he's like singing in this kid's face, and you can tell the kid's like uncomfortable. The kid's like mumbling the words. Like, it looks like, get out of my face, dude. Like, freaked out by him. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I try to be a skeptic, and you guys know me, like, I'm a very spiritual person, but I try to be careful not to be too woo-woo and stuff. And I try not to accuse people of things without evidence. But from my heart of hearts and my intuition, I get really creepy vibes about Stephen Colbert. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if you guys get creepy vibes too. Hit me up in the comments. But I get really creepy, dark vibes from that dude. And I remember during COVID, the dude was like on the wrong side of history. Like, do you guys remember the whole vaccine song and dance that he did? And it was just, he's like a horrible take on everything. He's just wrong about everything, you know? The wrong side of history. So, and he's reported on like Pizzagate and shit, telling us how crazy and outlandish we are about Pizzagate, and it's like, Pizzagate never really got debunked. I'm sorry, I've run across like even like who I would consider right-wing conspiracy theorists who think that Pizzagate was debunked. It's like, no, dude, you need to look into it. That shit was not debunked, man. I still am one of the few content creators who stand up for Pizzagate, and it's like, no, that shit was legit. There was something to that. But here recently, and this is a little bit older news, but I don't mind reporting on it. I mean, I can only report on so much with how little time I have, and if I get to news a little bit late, then that's fine. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you haven't. But here recently on one of his shows, I caught the clip of it. He literally looks up at the camera and says, Fidelio. Fidelio. Like, emphasizes Fidelio. Why is this important? I wouldn't say it's important, but I find it interesting. So I did a whole movie review on Eyes Wide Shut. Go check that out. But Fidelio was the password used in Eyes Wide Shut. And that movie came out. There was a channel, by the way, his name's God Rules 2. I'm not sure if there's a number 1, but go check out at least God Rules 2. I think it's probably a backup channel he had to make due to YouTube censorship. He puts out a lot of good fucking info. I found his channel randomly. He's just a dude. He's kind of like me. Just like puts out like 30-minute videos like once a day, twice a day, whatever. He's a content creator and talks about just weird conspiracy shit from a Christian perspective. I'm not a Christian, but I do listen to a lot of Christian content creators. Just because they're Christian doesn't mean that throw the baby out with the bathwater, you know? Kind of what basically we should be doing more in the conspiracy community is, I don't know, listening to people with different beliefs. Huh, wouldn't that be crazy if our community did that? I probably, honestly, dude, I've had people who've been nasty in the comments and been like, oh, you're an occultist, you're a witch, I don't trust you, you're Illuminati, like, I'm not going to listen to anything you say, you're evil. And it's like, just because of my religious beliefs doesn't mean what I'm saying is wrong. But he brought this to my attention. And he had a really good point that movie came out exactly during the time that Epstein was doing all his weird, shady shit. It came out the same fucking time. And the theory is that Kubrick knew what was going on with the elites, with Hollywood, with child trafficking. I mean, there's like 23 minutes that were taken out of the movie after Kubrick died. He died mysteriously before the movie got released, and then they took out like 23 minutes. It's supposed to have an alternate ending where Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, they're in a toy store and there's a guy in a suit that walks up and grabs their daughter's hand and walks away with her, and pretty much it's them being like, yep, now their child is being trafficked and they're part of the club, you know. But yeah, Fidelio was the term they used in Eyes Wide Shut. That was the password of like, hey, when you get to this mansion in the middle of nowhere, say this and you can get in. And then Tom Cruise gets in, spoiler alert. He gets in. You go watch the movie. It's fucking crazy. It's a good fucking movie, like conspiracy wise and shit. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you'll love the movie. But he goes in, and, you know, at the door, they're like, what is the password? And Fidelio. And he puts on the mask and goes inside, and there's like, don't watch it, obviously, if there's children around. It's like an NC-17 rated R movie. Like, there's just girls eating each other's boxes out. Like, you know, girls jacking off dudes while getting plowed up the ass. Like, it's very pornographic, but it shows you what was going on at these freak-offs, you know. But yeah, I just found it interesting. Colbert on television just like, Fidelio, saying the code word of Eyes Wide Shut, like as if he's like, hey, I'm one of you, you know, I'm saying the code word. And it just amazes me, like, these audiences are just like, yeah, you know, and it's like, no one finds this fucking weird. Like, they say shit, they talk to each other in code, like, right in front of us dumb sheeple. And we're just like, oh, you know. I don't know. I find it weird. I wanted to talk about that a little bit, though. But let's get on with the next and maybe final subject. Let's see. So this one's a one that, like I said, is a kind of an older one. This one actually kind of hits close to home because it was, dude, I'm just going to say something. I don't give a fuck. There's like black SUVs, obviously like feds or FBI or something, just swarming Nicholasville today. What the fuck is going on? It's creepy, dude. I don't know what's going on, who they're looking for, but just feds everywhere, dude. I don't know. I didn't do it. But this one comes out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. I live in Nicholasville. Bowling Green is probably, I think, like an hour, maybe 2 hours away from here. Bowling Green is like our music town, our artsy fartsy town. You had Cage the Elephant, which came out of there. Nappy Roots, which was like a Kentucky southern rap group. They're fucking awesome. I have one of their albums. I think it's called like Fried Chicken and Grits or something like that. They're an awesome fucking rap group. Like, go check them out. Nappy Roots is fucking dope. But they came out of Bowling Green. Cage the Elephant came out of Bowling Green. I like them too. But there was, and disclaimer, dude, living in Kentucky, you have a lot of shit talkers here. I'm from Florida. So people from Kentucky might be like, oh, this guy's talking shit about Kentucky. Like, well, I kind of am a little bit, because I have noticed, I moved up here when I was like 15, 16 years old. There is a lot of shit talkers here who just make shit up. There's a lot of bored people here, because they're honestly, I disagree with it. There's actually a shit ton to do here in Kentucky, but people are too lazy to actually go out and do it. Like, a lot of it's hiking and archaeology shit. Like, there's a shit ton to do here in Kentucky. There really is. So when I hear all these like rednecks who chug Red Bull and drink Jägermeister and live in trailers, which, hey, I live in a trailer, you know, but I still find shit to do. I think it's a laziness thing. Like, unless it involves like sex, drugs, or rock and roll, they're just like, there ain't nothing to do around here. And it's like, no, that's because all you want to do is smoke meth and party. But that being said, where there's not much to do here in Kentucky, even though there is, people get bored. And with Kentucky, I've noticed everyone sits around talking all day, because they live out in the country and there's nothing to do, or people just don't have money to do anything. So everyone just sits around with their aunt and their uncle and their grandma, and everybody just sits around and gossips and talks bullshit. And so up the road got a 16-year-old pregnant. I heard too that his aunt up the road from him is cooking meth in the basement. And they left that house. They passed that house down from her grandparents, which were good fucking people, and they passed away, passed it on down to the niece, and the niece, she smokes meth. Everybody in town knows she smokes meth. Everybody knows she deals meth. I think the local sheriff, he's buying it and moving it, you know. That's literally the convos you hear here in Kentucky. So when I heard this story from this feller who's missing half his teeth, and I'm missing teeth, so this isn't me making fun of his dental hygiene, because I look just as hillbilly, buddy, but I know how people are around here, so I am skeptical of it. It was a gravedigger out in Bowling Green, and he said that he's working for this company. As soon as I heard him talking, I was like, my name is Mud. Because he was literally wearing, like, from the Primus video, Les Claypool, the Mud, like, jumpsuit, you know. The blue one. Like, the exact same jumpsuit. I'm like, oh, God, my name is Mud. And he was a gravedigger, too, you know. I drink my wine most of the time. But this guy was saying that he works for, like, a funeral home, and he digs graves. Cool. Not making fun of your choice of work. Actually, I could see me being a gravedigger. I think it'd be kind of cool. I'm into that grim, dark shit anyways, so. I always wanted to be a hearse driver. But, the dude was putting a grave into dug the grave, they were dropping the grave in, and the boss came by, the owner of the, cemetery, and he was like, hey, that grave's a little crooked, you need to fix that. So he's like, well, jump in this grave with me and we'll lift it together and we'll move it. So the boss gets down in there with him in the 6 feet below, and they're moving it, and it's moving super fucking easy. It's super fucking light. And the gravedigger goes, why is this so light? Like, it feels like there's not even a body in here. Because a body, we used to do it. Like, me and my wife, like, we'd get bored at the house and we'd just be playing around with each other. Like, we'd do dead weight and see if the other one could lift us up or whatever. Dead weight is dead weight, dude. It's heavy as fuck. That's why you see pallbearers, there's like 3 on each side lifting one body, because it's heavy as fuck. I was a pallbearer for my uncle once, and I remember lifting, and my cousin, her boyfriend, going, "God damn, this motherfucker's heavy," and we all started laughing, you know. So the boss, his response is, "Don't ask questions to which you're not ready for." And the dude, the gravedigger, was like, that's fucking weird. Like, why would you say that? And he's like, just don't ask questions you're not ready for. So the theory is that, and people have actually done like mathematical equations and shit. There is a good question of like, where do all the bodies go? Because there are all these people who are dying, but there's only so many cemeteries and so many. Mathematically, it's impossible. Like, and the theory is too, like with our fast food, whether it's KFC, McDonald's, Burger King, people have actually done the math and went, there is not enough cows being raised and slaughtered and killed and taken care of to feed all the Americans of how much meat is being produced. It's just mathematically impossible. And the theory is essentially that Soylent Green is people. And that's what this funeral home director was implying, was basically, we get meat from dead people, you know, and it's just kind of like, it kind of coincides with how much meat Americans are consuming and how much cattle is actually raised and slaughtered. Like, it's impossible to feed everyone with the amount of cows available. It's just mathematically impossible. So, I don't know. I do want to do a conspiracy cinema episode on Soylent Green, because we have like a little playlist, and should be movie reviews, so click on that if you want to see his review, like conspiracy movies and shit. Me and my wife, that's been one of our little segments that we've been doing, is watching and reviewing conspiracy movies, and we've done quite a few that are some good shit, like Late Night with the Devil. We need to do Soylent Green. But the guy made a TikTok, the gravedigger, and his boss was like, "Hey, you need to delete that video. It's blown up. Apparently the video went viral." And he's like, it's gonna hurt our business. I gotta fire you unless you delete it. And the guy is like, "No, I'm gonna keep it up." Now, like I said, I've noticed, I live in Kentucky. I know how these people are around here. These people. Playing devil's advocate, I could see that this guy would want to get famous from this. Hopefully, you know, well, not hopefully, because it is kind of dark if it is true, but, you know, if it is true, then he's doing something noble by saying, like, no, I'm going to keep it up and the people need the truth. But I can see, playing devil's advocate, there's a lot of hillbillies around here who want their little moment of fame. And a lot of the times it's about the money, because you can get monetized by TikTok and YouTube and shit. So I could see that it could be about the money. But two, it's like, a lot of these people around here are so fucking bored that they are kind of like, they do say crazy shit for attention. And because it's Kentucky and there's not a lot of people and there's a lot of boredom around here, I could see someone just saying crazy shit just for attention. People love attention, dude. It boosts your ego. Everyone's attention's drawn to you. It makes you a local celebrity, because there is a lot of local celebrities around here, because towns are so small and everyone knows each other. Like, people become famous for stupid shit. So, I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is Soylent Green people? Where are all these dead bodies going? Do you think this guy's telling the truth, this gravedigger. And by the way, go check out Minutes of Horror. That's where I kind of got this info from, because I always try to give my sources shout outs, which is what we should do. Minutes of Horror, he does a good job at giving shout outs. Yeah, go check it out from his channel, this whole story, if you don't have TikTok like me. If you do have TikTok and you've seen this video, like, go share it, you know, share it around and see what other people think about it. But I love y'all. Y'all have a good day. Please like, share, and subscribe.